Hello there, my lovely lovelies, and welcome to haQ. I really think you're gonna like this one. Battlestation by Bram Bos is an immediate jamming and performance type groovebox. Now, it can run in a standalone mode, but it can also be loaded inside your most favorite AUV3 host, where you can combine it with all of your favorite AUV3 plugins. Now, when loading Battlestation as an AUV3 plugin, you also have access to MIDI parameters so that you can map up all of the knobs and faders to a MIDI controller. And on top of that, it also supports AUV3 multi-out so that you can individually process all of the channels. Now, with all of that said, you really don't need much to get going with Battlestation. It really has been designed for touch and for you to get going really quickly with it. And all of this is reflected in its UI and also in the type of sequence generators chosen here. Now, it's got a drum machine over here, 3 synths over here, got a mixer section down here, and that's all you need to focus on. It really is as smooth as open up, tap, 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 drag, drag, drag. Yo, check this. Now, when it comes to actually inputting notes into this thing, well, the drum machine works pretty much as any other type of drum machine with a step sequencer. So you got 5 instrument sections where some of them have more instruments than just one, and you can use the switch on the top here to select the instrument type for that section. So if we wanted to input some notes for the kick, we simply make sure we select the kick and then input the notes for it. And it's the same for all other sections. Now, once we have a drum groove going, we can then mess with the timing, velocity, and add mutations. And here we can make that happen for either the kick for all of the instruments or all of the instruments except the kick. And on top of that, we got 3 performance buttons here where we can perform a kick fill or a drum roll and a kill kick, which means we're just simply removing the kick from the beat. And to round it all off, Bram has actually designed some special drum effects just to weten the drum sounds. And here again, we can choose to either have it just on the kick, on all of the instruments, or all of the instruments except the kick. Now, 16 steps can quickly sound very repetitive, which is why there is also timing, velocity, and mutation chance over here. But if you want to make a bit more generative grooves, well, you can just do odd steps for certain categories. And also, as you're jamming, if you feel like something is starting to feel repetitive, you can just use the random button over here to insert a new set of triggers for a certain category. Now, sequencing drums inside Battlestation is very straightforward and pretty quick, but I must say it's even quicker to get some melodies out of the synthesizers in here because they're sporting Turing machines. It's a well-known concept and a beloved one among modular people, but it's not something you'll commonly find in regular music apps or even grooveboxes. So we got these three big knobs here, and when you pull them up, they start generating notes. So the more you pull up, the more notes it will generate, and the further up you pull up, the more steps in the sequence will be filled with notes. And as soon as you let go of the knob, it will swing back into the locked position and simply repeat a loop of the last thing it generated. And if you feel like it's getting repetitive, well, you just simply pull up on this again and it will generate a new batch of notes. Now, if you end up generating notes for all 16 steps and you feel like it's getting too tightly packed, well, then you can just remove some notes by tapping on the X. And finally, sequencer-wise, you have this button over here, which will allow you to restart the sequence and also resync it from any position within your groove. Now, with this scale mode off, you are generating notes chromatically. However, as soon as you switch it on, it will generate notes from within a scale, and that scale is something you can set up yourself. Here we have a set of predefined scales, and we can set up our root note. However, if you don't like the predefined scales, you can make your own by just tapping and untapping notes in the keyboard. Oh, and if you want a little bit more of a generative session, you can always mess around with the step length. You have up to 16 steps for all of the synths and their Turing machines, but you can make these lesser than 16 steps. So setting maybe one of them to 9 and another one to 11 makes it way more interesting. Now, one thing I want to highlight, and I'm not sure if you've noticed it yet, but whenever you're generating notes, you're also getting pitch bends and accents. And that's why the treble acid synthesizer sounds so good. And it really wouldn't be acid without those things added to it. Now, I'm not going to do any deep dive into the synth engines, but I do want to highlight a few knobs I really think you should tweak while you're jamming away with these. But first, let me just talk real quickly about the origin of some of these engines, like Treble, which yes, is a bastard version in a really good way of Bram's Troublemaker app, which is a pure acid machine. Now, Phase 2 is an FM synth or phase modulation synth, which is almost the same thing. And it has its roots in the Phasemaker synth. And finally, Noir has its roots in the app with the same name, Noir, one of the best ones out there. I just love it so much. And here it has been boiled down to just a few controls, and it's also been changed. Alright, so when you're jamming about and you're using the Noir engine, I highly advise you to mess around with the FM knobs. There's 2 of them in here. Another thing I want you to highlight on is the oscillator balance, because if you tweak it all the way over here, you're getting just the FM type sounds, and if you tweak it all the way back, you're getting a clean square. The third one I want to highlight is the reducer knob. It's kind of like a bit crusher effect. Now, if you're in the Phase engine, you should be messing with the FM index and also the generator switch, which will switch between 3 different types of generators. I also want to highlight the filter in here and the fact that there is an all-pass filter, which will allow you to get kind of like phaser-like effects when you're tweaking it. Now, in the Troublemaker one, there are some obvious ones, but I implore you to just drive up the resonance, switch the tube mode over to high, and really tweak that cutoff knob. Now, when you're jamming, it can quickly get very static because if you're not touching any knobs, you're not getting any modulation, which is why Bram added the auto LFO down here. So these three knobs are basically already tied to LFOs that will move about knobs inside these three engines. And all you have to do is to tweak them up. The higher you tweak them up, the more modulation you're getting out of them. And you can also turn off the LFOs completely down here. Another thing you have at your disposal when you're jamming are the three transpose buttons here. You can transpose 5 seminotes, 7 seminotes, and 12 seminotes. And lastly, I also want to add that there are two effects. There's a reverb and you also got a delay. And the way that you add them is by just pulling up the knobs in the corresponding effect sections. Now, if you're jamming around and you have something nice and you feel like you want to save it, you can save it as a preset. But remember, all presets also have 6 storage slots that you can switch between while you're jamming. So if you're making something and you want to change it, but you want to keep the old, all you have to do is to first just choose one of the memory slots and long press on it. Once it blinks like this, it's saved in that slot. And whatever you do and save in these slots will all get saved with the preset when you save it. If you ever want to reset your entire session, you also have an initialize here where you just have to hold it down to initialize your session. Now, if we move down to the mixer section, then we have volume controls for all of the instruments: kick, snare, hi-hats, perk, noir, phase 2, and treble. Now, we also have mute and solo buttons at the bottom. To mute something, you simply just press a button, but to solo, you have to press solo first and then select the channel or channels that you want to solo. On top of that, we have a sidechain compression, which sidechain compresses the synthesizers when the kick hits. On top of that, we also have a compressor for the main output and a main volume out, where we at the bottom can find a low cut switch. Lastly, we have the BPM settings over here and a shuffle knob where you can add swing to your beats. And right there, we've gone through the entire app. Now, even though Battlestation lends itself well to making 4-on-the-floor beats and a lot of acid and stuff like that, you don't have to do it like that. You can pull down the BPM low. Make sure all of the steps inside all of the sequencers are uneven. And then you simply just pull up all the effects to the maximum and you make some weird noises by tweaking these into extreme places and then start generating just a few notes in these sequencers. And there you go. You've got a generative session. So my final thoughts are, Battlestation is dope as fuck. And it is also weird at the same time. It is weird to not have full control over the melodic content inside your synth channel. I really love being in control, and here I don't even have control over the modulation. It's been set up already, and I just get to pull up on a knob. But at the same time, I have so many apps, and so many of them are so capable and so in-depth, and I invest so much time into them whenever I want to make something. And sometimes I don't want to do that. Sometimes I really want something quick to work with. So, with something like Battlestation, where it is so focused on pure immediacy, you can get going as soon as you open up the app. Now, when it comes to the selection of synth engine types, I do enjoy an acid machine a lot, but they are kind of limited in what they do, which is why I love the fact that Bram put Noir and Phase 2 in here, because both of them are sporting FM synthesis, and that means that you can make a wide range of sounds, because sometimes a really good groove isn't necessarily built up from overly melodic content. Yes, I'm calling it content. YouTube has ruined me. I've been doing this for over a decade. Come on. What was I saying? Oh, right. Sometimes you can build really great grooves with just bleeps and blops or sweepy, high-pitched, jump-pitched, whiny sounds. Now, everything isn't peachy though, because I do have a little wish list. It includes 2 items, and one of them is a 120Hz low-cut switch for the reverb in the synth effects section, because I do love adding reverb to my sounds, but I don't like adding rumbly reverb to bass sounds. Now, my last wishlist item has to do with the effect right there. It's a low-cut effect that engages as soon as you press the button, but as soon as you release it, it disengages the effect. So it's a momentary button. Now, first I was going to suggest to Bram to make this a toggle, but what I instead would want is a pure DJ-style LP-HP filter for the output, and make that a center-positive DJ-style slider instead. It really suits an app like this to be able to filter off the output while you're jamming. Now, all you have to do is to go down into the pinned comment, follow the link to the App Store, and buy this thing, and then start creating. And if you make some cool stuff, why don't you share it online and just hashtag it Battlestation? Now, as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it.